Good afternoon, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to Fedmail. Thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon in the midst of our Hanukkah celebrations. It was wonderful seeing so many of you out and about in the community over the past few days. A lot going on locally and a lot going on around the world. Of course, we had Vladimir Zelensky addressing the U.S. Congress earlier this week, came right in time for Hanukkah. And of course, it would have been very clear if he had relayed the story of Hanukkah to Congress, talking about how his band of fighters, the Ukrainian people, are fighting back against a much stronger force. But he chose not to do that, instead invoking the Battle of Saratoga, which, a lot of Jewish leaders around the country were disappointed that he didn't mention it, being a son of Holocaust survivors himself and being Jewish. But nonetheless, here we were with an address of Congress. In Israel, the government was formed earlier this week, too, under the leadership of Benjamin Netanyahu, a coalition government made up of a number of different parties. And of course, as we've mentioned in past editions of Fedmail, and if you've read the news about it, there's a lot of concern over what this will precisely mean in terms of new laws being passed or the activation of different protocols and procedures. So we are all watching that very closely. Unfortunately, there was also some violence took place in Israel over the course of the last few days, more attacks. And we've seen that, of course, in recent months, more than we had in years past. So we're hoping that through the holiday season, through the end of Hanukkah, we see peace in Israel. Okay, so back to local community news this week. We, of course, lit menorahs all over the place. There was nothing like central mass over the last few days of Hanukkah, with menorahs being lit at Worcester City Hall, in the mayor's office, Newton Square, Kelly Square, Northborough, Grafton, at B'nai Shalom, at Temple Emmanuel Sinai for a nice Hanukkah celebration on the first night, at Beth Israel. Share Torah had a little program, just absolutely beautiful that everyone was able to do that. And then, of course, a big community-wide celebration at Polar Park, where we got to hear from City Councilor Mo Bergman. Always great to hear from Mo. The new city manager, Eric Batista. Earlier in the week, we heard from the new superintendent at Worcester Common. We felt very supported by seeing so many city councilors there, and we were all grateful to Mark Scheer for taking care of us with security, and grateful to Bruce Wally for being our resident photographer once again. So it was just a terrific week, and we look forward to a continued great Hanukkah celebration the last few nights. I really want to congratulate and thank our community rabbis and other leadership for coming together. In particular, the Torah Center, which did a fabulous job putting on the program at Polar Park in coordination with Jewish Federation, PJ Library, and a number of our congregations, in addition to making sure that there were other menorahs lit throughout the community. So that was just terrific. Now, coming up in the next few days, we have the BI Scholar in Residence on January 6th. Make sure to check that out. Big news, the Film Fest is coming on January 7th, the JCC Film Fest. You should find the whole schedule of events listed below. Songs of Hope, that wonderful concert put on by the Black Jewish Alliance. Mark your calendars for that on January 22nd. And right after you leave Songs of Hope, you can head over to B'nai Shalom for an awesome wine tasting with our Shlichat Tomi, also on January 22nd. So great stuff coming up over the next few weeks. So I want to say make sure to mark your calendars for it, and we hope to see you there. I want to give a shout out also to Alan Cooper, who's working very hard on the Worcester, Florida party coming up in February, so soon. First Thursday in February, mark your calendars for that. We'll be sending out a lot of information on it in advance of it. And I want to give hello to Moshe Libero, who was the MC for several of the Hanukkah menorah lightings over the week. He did a great job with that, and he always watches Fedmail, so I thank him for being a good follower of our Fedmail broadcasts. I also want to thank Ransford Pest Control for being a sponsor of Fedmail, and Drew Mortgage. It's always great to have corporate sponsors, and if you're interested in that, we'd love to have you. And also, this being the end of the month, make sure to please get your pledge, get your donations into the annual campaign. We absolutely need your support more than ever. A lot of challenges, a lot of resources are needed in the community, and we certainly are grateful and thankful for all of your support and partnership. With that, wish you a good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great weekend. Look forward to seeing you next week. Keep lighting those candles, and we'll all shine on.